Yeah, I'm seeing them.
Dying for sleep.
First of all, Dr. Derrickson, I want to thank you for being here with us today in the midst of this unbelievable zombie crisis, which the National Guard and other forces have made significant headway on, but it's
significant's a stretch.
Yeah. Well, at any rate, we understand that the crisis is still ongoing, but that perhaps you've developed a potential solution to this crisis.
It's entirely possible. Now, we may have. Now, it's not like we haven't been able to test it fully, but what better testing than testing on the damned, you know? And I've been up for weeks getting this, and I think the formula is perfect. Okay, now what we've been able to do is we've been able to rig basically an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse. However, it works slightly differently. Now, okay, LSD, for example, acid lifts up the back of your brain, drips acid onto your spinal cord, right? And that's how you have the hallucinations and falls back down. What we've done, we've been able to manipulate the EMP in a way that perfectly replicates that effect, except since they are incapable of regenerating tissue further than what's already been regenerated, it shuts them down. It shuts them down. And now we have done some very, very limited testing in the lab, and so far the results are phenomenal. So far, they're phenomenal, but we have not done it on a large scale.
Is it in effect severing the brainstem from the spine,
Correct.
or is this more of a neurological?
Well, technically, they're both. Yes, it's neurological in a sense, but it's physical. Okay, so what it does is it basically severs the synaptic nerve. Okay, what it does is, say, like LSD, like lysergic acid, what happens is it kind of lifts up. Okay, so it, in a sense, separates your neocortex, the back of your brain, from your spine. Okay, but not in a detrimental way. However, because they are incapable of reanimating tissue that is already dead, now they are reanimated tissue already, but they cannot reanimate further. There is no regeneration. Their cells do not regenerate. Their cells do not multiply.
So in a sense, you're short-circuiting their neurological system.
Correct. For lack of a better word, we're snapping their neck.
Have you tested some zombie subjects? What's the effect? Do they instantly drop to the ground?
Instantly, yes. Once it actually happens, I say instantly, excuse me. It's 2 or 3 moments. I mean, it's very fast. It's very fast. They kind of shoot up, drop. And when they drop, there is no getting back up.
So they do not get back up.
Correct.
Now, what's the range of this electromagnetic pulse? How wide will the field? What scope does it have?
So far, because of our limited technology, not limited technology, but because of our limited resources, again, most of the Army bases have been overrun and taken. So we're having trouble with that. However, if we can hijack some sort of radio signal and then we can broadcast it via that, we can rig that to emit the pulse. We can. Right now, our range is about 30 meters, which is nothing. You have to be very close. It's unfortunate. But it is so effective, it's almost safe to be that close. However, the charge that it takes is a detriment. One blast, 30 meters, everything's gone. And it's 30 meters in radius, so it's really 60 meters in diameter. So that's not terribly bad. However, it takes time to recharge the pulse.
And let me understand this correctly. Normal walking, living humans are not affected by this EMP.
That's correct. Well, they are affected. However, it's on par of, I don't know, a headache. It's because they are able to regenerate those cells.
I see.
So since they're living tissue, they're able to regenerate those cells. It's almost nothing. I mean, it's a momentary lapse in judgment or something. You know what I mean? It's very insignificant, especially when compared to what it does to the inanimate, to the ex-animus, to the zombies, the undead.
I'm reminded of the jerk or the jump that most people experience when they're first going to sleep.
Precisely.
Jump.
Yes.
That sort of sensation.
It's just like that. It's a shock. But then it's over. It's very, very fast. Almost it's almost incapable. I'm sorry. It's almost to where they don't even notice it. It's just like someone tapped them on the shoulder and they were surprised. Over. Then it's over. Because those cells are able to regenerate so quickly that it's almost like nothing ever happened. And there's no long-term effects that we have seen so far. Now, this is new ground.
Yes.
So there could be long-term effects, but it's better than the effect of being eaten alive.
Indeed. If indeed you can put this EMP signal on a radio pulse, a radio signal.
Or satellite dish that's large enough, it's possible.
Exactly. This could literally be used in every town and city throughout the nation.
Correct. Yes. And every city populated highly enough has some sort of functioning radio tower or cell tower or anything that can emit a radio signal basically can be manipulated to emit this pulse.
Could smaller portable devices be developed or
with ease?
Yes.
If you had a Walkman with an antenna, you could do it. However, the range would be unfortunately very short, and the charge time is again is a detriment. We're working on, and we've been working tirelessly. I don't know if I've slept. I don't know how long since I've slept. Excuse the cigarette, but the stress is overwhelming.
In theory, at least, a small portable handheld device could be developed that would simply aim that signal at a group of zombies in front of you and they would drop.
Well, it wouldn't be necessarily aimed. An EMP is a blast that is kind of, it's a diameter. It's all around you.
Great.
So it would save you all around you. However, right now, unfortunately, especially with the smaller ones that we've been able to create,
yes,
the charge time is like 3 or 4 minutes. That's a problem when you're overrun.
Indeed.
Unfortunately.
Indeed.
But it is wildly effective thus far. We have had no dead come back. We have had no regeneration of their cells. Humans have not been, there's not been a single fatality. It's wonderful. And it's taken a team of us quite some time, but we have finally figured it out and calibrated it correctly. So we finally have headway, major headway.
Many radio towers are on high ground or even on the tops of buildings,
yep,
which of course gives a strategic advantage in terms of being able to be above the zombie horde or the zombie fray, and yet aim this.
And it could be, the blast could almost be considered spherical.
Yes.
It's not, it's not left and right, anything like that. It's spherical. So if it was on top of a building and the harder the blast, the greater the radius, it would be all around it.
Literally.
So anything in the building, anything on the ground, things like that. Our issue is finding something that has enough power to generate a larger pulse.
I see.
And we're calling it an EMP for lack of a better word, but that's because we haven't gotten any sleep. We're surviving on coffee and cigarettes and mathematical equations, but we're still getting very close to the end of this.
Wow.
We've made a great deal of headway, and we will continue to do more.
Well,
we will
Dr.
end this.
I'm sure you will alert us as this is deployed.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure that the news, such as it still exists, will alert us as to the effectiveness of these devices.
Listen, tune into your radios. All right. If anybody has a CB radio, make sure you keep that on and continue to monitor. Okay, because we will be informing the populace more and more as things go on. But it's looking up. We are taking care of this issue.
Dr. Derrickson, both I and the citizens of Murder City, as well as the rest of the country, cannot thank you enough.
No thanks necessary. This is for the future of mankind. This is for all of us.
This has been Dr. Derrickson with us today from the biotech industries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.